Oh my gosh, so many people coming into downtown.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, gymnastics,
It's a huge
Olympics.
deal. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Precursor. It's a precursor.
Gosh. Hello. Thank you so much for joining us for KARE 11 News at noon. Very busy day downtown Minneapolis with the Olympic gymnastics trials and the Promenade du Nord. That's what
right.
our French
That's
friends
what it's
said, the du Nord. Yes, celebrations. And that's exactly where Cece is right now. She will join us with a live look at all the fun in just a minute. But in the last 2 hours, a major decision from the Supreme Court. We'll look into that. And first, Ben, let's go ahead and get a first look at the weather for all those people coming into town.
Yes, well, we started the day off sunny. Clouds have since moved in, and we are tracking some very light rain showers that are moving into the far western and southwestern part of the state right now. Now, for most of us on this side of the state, we're talking east central Minnesota. I think we're just going to stay mostly cloudy, maybe a few sprinkles late this afternoon into the evening hours, but it's areas in south central and especially southwestern Minnesota. Enough rain to certainly wet the ground outside. No lightning or thunder or anything like that. No flooding rains. That's what we are expecting today. But just outside of Wilmer, some showers moving in. Benson, it's wet down towards Montevideo. Marshall seeing some light rain as well. This is kind of the precursor of what's to come later on tonight when some heavier storms move into the area. Here's a look at the next 12 hours. Again, clouds thicken, temperatures holding into the mid to upper 70s today. Maybe a touch of humidity, and notice better chance for rain as we head overnight tonight. And after midnight, that's when some thunderstorms will roll across the Twin Cities metro. But until then, you can see a mostly cloudy sky becoming cloudy. Showers likely to our south and to our west, and then rain likely tonight. We get some redeveloping storms later Friday afternoon. Some of them could be on the stronger side, so we'll be tracking that as well as a dry weekend. Details on that just ahead, Alexis.
We'll take it, Ben. Thank you. Well, today is the first official day of the Olympic gymnastics trials right here in Minneapolis. And of course, the city is celebrating. Cece is downtown at the Promenade du Nord kickoff and is celebrating all the things that we can expect at the Paris Games. Cece, you're at the place where we all want to be.
I'm so excited. Hey, Alexis, I have such a fun assignment today. We're here at the Nicollet Mall, and really it's transformed. We're here on Nicollet and 9th. I've actually made some friends. Say hi, guys. Yeah, look at that. You actually just missed a dance party that was happening. Maybe y'all can do some dances that you were doing just a few minutes ago. Yeah, you missed a dance party. It wrapped up a few minutes ago, but everyone was dancing. This kickoff celebration happening behind me. Just about 30 minutes ago, there were 1,000 gymnasts from around the world. Vikings cheerleaders, the Skull Line, other local groups, just taking over down the street here and showing us how Minneapolis can really party down here. Now, I'm told that there are gymnasts from 1 year old all the way to 76 years old, so you're never too old or too young to have a good time down here. Now, the party is just getting started down here, though. This free 4-day event stretches between the Target Center and then the Minneapolis Convention Center, where all the gymnastics trials and practices have been happening. On Nicollet Mall here, there are 2 stages set up, one at 8th and Nicollet, and then one at PV Plaza down the street here. All 4 days there will be live music, performance, gymnastics demonstrations, vendor food and more, so you'll really get to experience Paris right in your backyard. It'll just be like going to the Olympics. So this event is from today until Sunday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. And the best part, it's free. And I know, Alexis, if it's free, it's for you. I remembered to add that into my script. But it's such a great vibe down here. We're making a lot of friends. We're going to stay down here and show you more vendors coming up in about 30 minutes.
Oh, man, you got that right. You know, I love it. If it's for free, it's free for me and for you, too. I love it so much. Hey, there's so many great things happening out there, Cece. Obviously, a lot of people probably need to make their way there soon.
Would you be able to repeat that?
Yes, I was just saying that you're having fun out there. It sounds like people need to get out there soon. We'll see you in a little bit. Well, you know, all of the fun outside is in anticipation of the events happening later today when the trials kick off. Michelle Beck shows us what the week has been leading up to.
We're now just a few hours out from the men starting their competition here at the Target Center. Of course, these 5 Olympic rings, they signal that this is the place to be. And if you're an excited fan, the flip zone in front of the Target Center, this is where you can experience all things gymnastics. 16 women and 20 men are vying for their tickets to Paris, though only 5 men and 5 women plus their alternates will be chosen. Automatically making the cuts will be the top-ranked man and woman in the all-around. A committee will then decide who gets into the remaining spots. Tomorrow we'll see the women in action. Of course, the Simone Biles and Minnesota's own Suni Lee. But tonight I know some locals who will be in the stands cheering on for another hometown favorite, Shane Wiskus.
I'm pumped, man. I texted my mom when I landed that just felt good to be home. You know, I don't get to come home very often, so to have a competition here just feels good, feels comforting.
With men starting their competitions tonight, we know the women will begin competing tomorrow. That could be your Friday night plans. And of course, these last the next 4 days. And if you want to watch these athletes in person, you can still get a ticket and come for yourself here at the Target Center. At the Target Center, Michelle Beck, KARE 11 News.
Michelle, thank you. And there's a lot of action to keep track of this week, from competitions to other events linked to the trials, and we put together a guide for you. All you have to do is text the word trials to 763-797-7215. Well, new at noon, a big decision from the Supreme Court allowing doctors in Idaho to perform abortions in emergency situations. Right now, Idaho law only allows for abortions when a mother's life is in danger. However, federal law says patients should receive appropriate care in any emergency situation. In the decision made about just 2 hours ago, the justices temporarily sticking with a lower court ruling, siding with federal law. The High Court has not ruled on the underlying conflict and will take up the issue in a later case. Well, tonight, for the first time in 4 years, President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump will face off in another debate. They take to the stage in about 8 hours. NBC's senior White House correspondent, Gabe Gutierrez, brings us a preview.
Today in Atlanta, a debate rematch with the stage now set between President Biden and former President Trump. Their first face-off in 4 years since the two rivals clash in a pair of tense debates.
This radical left.
Will you shut up, man?
Listen,
Ahead of the earliest general election debate on record, President Biden at Camp David, out of the public eye for nearly a week, huddling with advisors and holding mock debates. Former President Trump at his Mar-a-Lago estate, doing more informal prep. In the debate, Mr. Trump's expected to focus on the economy and the border, while President Biden will likely zero in on abortion rights, threats to democracy, and trying to dispel concerns among voters about his age and fitness for office. Some allies pointing to his State of the Union address as an example to repeat.
You can't love your country only when you win.
To minimize interruptions, the 90-minute debate will feature muted mics when the other candidate's talking. CNN offering a preview of how to work.
My volume remains constant, while Phil's interruption can be difficult to understand.
There will be no live studio audience, something both campaigns agreed to, but the former president is now complaining that it's a sterile dead room and that you have no audience to read. For both candidates, tonight is a crucial test to appeal to skeptical voters who dislike both options.
And that was Gabe Gutierrez reporting. NBC's special coverage of the debate begins tonight, right here on KARE 11 at 8 p.m. Well, back at home, an Iowa woman is facing murder charges in a bizarre crime out of Olmsted County. It started when the suspect, Margot Lewis, crashed on I-90 on Saturday. That's when authorities found the body of Liara Tsai, a Minneapolis trans woman, in the back of a car. Minneapolis police checked Tsai's apartment and found signs of violence. Prosecutors allege Lewis stabbed Tsai in her apartment and then drove her body south into Olmsted County before crashing. A person who knows Tsai told investigators the suspect and the victim knew each other for several years. We spoke with Tsai's friends about who she was. That story is at KARE11.com. Today, a private investigator's $100,000 reward for the information into Minnesota native Jody Huisentruit. Her disappearance expires. Now, exactly 29 years ago, the Iowa News anchor vanished on her way to work. The investigator says that he's gotten about 24 new tips since doubling the reward and plans to start new searches this summer. Meanwhile, in Mason City, the community is hosting a gathering today in her honor starting at 11 in front of the KIMT studios. The group Find Jody says they will also be pushing for more information to help solve this case. Well, we've got new video showing the flooding in St. Paul. Take a look here. Harriet Island Park is now underwater. You can see high flood waters from the Mississippi creeping up the banks. Crews have been busy blocking off roadways, trails, and sandbagging structures at the park. With the river now in major flood stage, The city's mayor has declared a state of local emergency that allows city leaders to apply for relief aid when it's available, and the river is expected to crest on Saturday. Well, right now, the St. Croix River in Stillwater is only a few inches away from hitting minor flood stage. Water level is expected to rise another 2 feet in the next 72 hours before cresting on Sunday. The high waters are now prompting the city to postpone its 4th of July celebration. They say flooding at Lowell Park will make it impossible to host fireworks and other festivities there next week. The city says it will reschedule as soon as possible. The consequences of a massive car dealership software attack continue today. Experts say it's taking longer to get the systems back up and running and having a big impact on dealers here in the metro. This is what we know.
I'm Ian Russell. Car dealerships nationwide are now writing things by hand, all thanks to a cyber attack on the company who provides their software. CDK Global provides software for things like writing checks and keeping track of hours, now down for over a week. That's led some dealerships in the area, like Midway Ford, to write hundreds of documents by hand. They say they can still take care of customers, it'll just take longer. As for when the service could be back online, experts say it's unclear.